There is one stock that is about to jump up in price. It is part of a $28 billion US venture capital investment in AI security. This also includes defense, and this company is US based. So of course it's part of the US independence theme, which is really hot right now in the market. The company is ACHR, Archer Aviation. It does electric vertical takeoff aircraft, and that might sound futuristic. It's realistic. They are demonstrating as of a week ago, and they're going to have a fleet ready next year in 2026. So 200 aircrafts ordered by American Airlines already. Let's take a look at the chart and why Archer Aviation is the hot stock right now.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 Okay, so this move was crazy, right? 50% in a handful of days. Followed the market as well. Can't really see it unless you zoom in and you see, yeah, the market definitely went up in early October. Importantly, on this massive sell day on Friday, which is the 10th, Archer Aviation bounced right back, okay? Did sell off, but bounced right back and is above that level. So that's pretty exciting. If you look at its sister company, Joby, it's similarly bouncing back. So this theme is definitely strong. It does look like Joby Aviation is not quite ready to go. It is sort of at this pivot level. After undercutting there, Archer is pretty much holding after this parabolic move, and sort of gives you a place to buy off of all of these tight compressed days. So that's the name of the game. Number of days in a row that are pretty small compared to these massive days. You don't want to be buying in the middle of a massive day, because what happens is then you get a massive day down often. So you like to get in before the move happens. That sounds simple, but easier said than done. Here is the $28 billion venture capital investment. In 2025, Archer is in that conversation. Anything that brings AI and security together is a pretty lucrative business to be in. And as I said, the volume trailed off a little bit after that parabolic move, as you'd expect. And now it looks like we're basing to move up again. So this will be the level again. Of course, slightly failed, above it. Went above this level from July, but sort of getting the best of both worlds, where you see these blue skies up here, but you also have a spot to get in where you're not risking so much. It's not like you're getting in here and risking down here. You already went up, now you're pulling back. It's kind of reminiscent of the opportunity in AMD right now. It's easy to feel FOMO when AMD just came out with this deal with OpenAI and it moved up 50% in a few days. Well, if you were able to have some patience, you actually got rewarded when the market came back, because AMD came down and now it's basing, so you have another opportunity to get in with tight risk. Of course, does this pattern always work? No. Okay, look at Oracle, for example. It came down, you could get in, and then ultimately Oracle did roll over a little more when the news came out that it was leasing its GPUs and actually not having much margin on them at all, even though it had this agreement that OpenAI was going to use a bunch of their compute. So here's the challenge, and here's how to get around it. Is if you do get in here, you don't know what's going to happen after mid-September. So this is all we see on the chart, right? Okay, so you're looking for a 10% push up, you sell half, right? And then if it keeps going up, you sell the other half. Now, what happened? depending on where you got in, you might have gotten that 10% push, okay? Maybe a little less. Maybe you didn't get the full 10%, depending on the day you got in. But you get the picture here. You sell half, and then, yeah, you have to sell the other half when it's back down to your average. So you make a little bit, or at worst, you break even, but you don't actually lose much, if any, even when the plan doesn't go according to plan. So that's why this is such a repeatable strategy. This is the opportunity right now in Archer. And now, with all that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what Archer has going on. We mentioned that 200 aircraft provisional order. Okay, that's maybe kind of, dubious. It's kind of like a non-binding agreement. But United Airlines is a pretty big brand name to have give you a provisional order, okay? Even if it's not a cash in hand offer. Now, they also have assistance. This is a massive company, Stellantis. And they've got some partnerships. They also went to the UAE and tested their aircraft over there. And the biggest name partnership is with Palantir to really cement that defense angle. So Anduril is a private company, unlike Palantir, but they're probably considered the next Palantir, if you believe that a company like BBAI, Big Bear AI, is a little less equipped than an Anduril, which I think is socially acceptable to say and probably true. They're also diversifying a little bit with an agreement with NASA. So they have a lot of different potential clients: the government, a private defense company, a public defense company. Well, this may not be a client, but this is a partner in the Middle East, and then an automaker, as well as an actual airline. So they have a lot going for them. And this is the recent news. They did show their aircraft at this air show. So it's a little futuristic to have it be an air show, but like I said, that fleet is coming out in 2026. And if we look in the past month at the price move, this was that air show. This was also around the time of that article where they mentioned here. It's no big deal. Like, it's just a news wire from USA News Group. I don't even know what that is. I don't think most people know what that is. Sorry, USA News Group. But they do mention Archer in the same breath as a $28 billion venture capital investment in AI security. So these little PRs do sometimes matter for companies that are small, but not going to read into it too much. They also mentioned the air show. So you might think, why bother with a company that is, so new that an air show is making their stock move? Well, why bother with a quantum company that has no revenue at all? Well, because they go up 200% plus in less than a month, because there's a lot of hype, interest. Call it a bubble, call it what it is. This is the market. This is not reality. And if you go against the market and you just go with your value of what a company's worth, you're going to have a bad time. So that's basically what's happened to people who are shorting these quantum names. Even into this big fall in the market on Friday, these quantum names keep going. And I think Archer is a little less speculative than a quantum name to get into at this point, which is, those are wildly extended and at a pretty level to jump in. So those are the partnerships. Of course, they're gonna get that FAA certification, but they did participate in a program with the government to tests their aircraft. So they're definitely in the government's good graces. And now the question is, they're starting commercial operations in LA and Miami by 2026, according to them, but they do need that FAA certification before they do that. Of course, they are US based, facilities in San Jose and Georgia. So not only is design development, but also manufacturing in the US. So they definitely have that national security angle. And they've been working with the Air Force for military use. And this is the contract up to 100 plus million. This is the aircraft that they demonstrated at that air show. So that's pretty significant as well. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say exactly what's going to happen with this company. Obviously, they're tied in with the government, tied in with the military. They're probably going to get the full FAA certification. We don't know when it's going to happen. Having an agreement with NASA is another green flag. So it certainly looks like all systems go here. This is a lot of money in the bank, $300 million, although it's very expensive to build specialized aircraft. It seems like there's a lot of momentum with this current administration. There's a little less red tape with all that data center build out. So vertical takeoff aircraft might actually be okay the next few years, when offhand that might sound sort of like, I don't want those things flying around, kind of like the drone controversy. So yeah, they're low noise, they're electric, they can be useful for medevac, so people are going to like that. That's very helpful. No one can really disagree with that being useful. So it's hard to really say that Archer's definitely going to be the winner over Joby, but the military agreements are super green flags. That FAA certification is sort of the last step, and as far as being based, designed, and manufactured in the US, they definitely get that green check mark for supply chain independence from China. So there's the chart. There's a lot of information about the company, which I really don't expect you would hold for more than a month. I mean, maybe it goes on a crazy run, but basically sell rules dictate, let's say you got in somewhere in here, you sell 10% up, maybe you hold the rest and sell it when it comes down below one of these lines. All these lines really are is just the average of the price. That's literally what they're called, moving averages. So that's how, moves like this, when people were jumping out of the quantums when the market came down and then they kept going up. Well, if you stick with a moving average, you don't get out and you're still in the stock. So that's the name of the game. That's the stock. That's the price level and the risk. And if you like these ideas, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to talk about your stock ideas and maybe some other stock ideas that are the best on a particular day, sometimes these videos are slightly delayed, head over to stockscommunity.com. You can try it out for 7 days for $25. See you there, or see you in the next one.
This is Sam Putnam. This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.